Welcome back to another video. Hope you're all keeping safe and well. Delighted to bring on three special guests, Antony Costa, Ian, and the Irish Hotspur, David. Welcome to the channel again. Now, let's start with the Manchester City game. Antony, let's come to you first. First of all, how are you and how did you see the game yesterday?
I'm all right, Chris. As I said, before we started talking, I've been better. I know I had a little rant the other night on Last Word on Spurs with yourself as a guest on as well. I've said enough, mate. I'll be honest with you. I, for the first time in ages, well, very, very, very long time, it was in the background. And I was just milling about. And I was waiting for them to score. I was waiting for City to score. I was waiting for a mistake to happen. I said to one of my pals, I bet, he goes, what do you think's going to happen? I said, I bet they get a penalty within the first 20 minutes. And lo and behold, that's what happened, because another mistake, and it just snowballed from there. And it wasn't good football. It was terrible, and the squad ain't good enough. And the bottom line is, it was pathetic.
Antony, were you expecting this result though? Were you expecting the performance? Because Gareth Bale come on in the 72nd minute. He got the most shots on target for Tottenham too. We can talk about Harry Kane's chance hitting the post, but that was about it in the game for Spurs, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, Chris. And I think to wait nearly 10 minutes before the end of the game to have your first shots on target is a disgrace. And I think there was no identity. No one wanted the ball. We kept losing the ball. The passing was terrible. And I think that we just folded. The minute the first goal went in, we just folded. And as I said, there's no identity. No one knew what they were doing. And poor Højbjerg has been an absolute amazing signing for us since he started. And Spurs have sucked the life out of him. We thought that he was going to come and bring great mentality, but he's just got the Spurs mentality now, making a few mistakes against Everton and again against City. And it was inevitable. And as for defending, well, it was laughable. Let's put it that way.
Ian, let's come round to you. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time. Now, Simon writes on screen here. Evening, chaps. Another depressing discussion. That's what it's been like these last few weeks, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it has. But I actually think that the hard part about it is it's so easy to get into a rut. And the hard part is actually getting back out of the rut again. Now, we haven't really got many leaders to actually take the game forward at all, have we? So you've got we're missing Reguilon, definitely. But I mean, we're mucking about with so much of our back line now, aren't we? We've got we used to have stability. It used to be a core strength. Now we've got none of that at all. So I don't see where we can ever get any better until we've got some foundations in there somewhere. You build from the back, surely, don't you?
Ian, what did you make of yesterday's game? Did you expect the result and the performance, or did you think that Tottenham would actually put a shift in and give Manchester City a good game?
No, not in the slightest. No, in the on the South Dorset Spurs app, we actually doing a score prediction every week, and it got to 10-1. Most people felt we were going to score one, so it was even disappointment we didn't get anything. But nobody expected Spurs to win, so that speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? You know what I mean? I don't know what positives you can bring out of that. I do think Tanganga had a good game.
Yeah.
I think he is certainly one for the future. You imagine him and Skippy next year. A bit of enthusiasm and a no fear attitude can make a lot of difference, can't it?
Yeah. David, let's come to you. What did you make of the Man City game yesterday?
Look, it was poor. It's just defensive errors again. Look, it's been a common theme over the last few weeks. There have been a number of reasons why I actually sat here and thought about this. So, look, there's no coincidence that the turn in results and the performance we have been seeing has come since the likes of Reguilon went out injured. Kane was even out injured. Lamela was out injured. Players like that. It's no coincidence that the run of results have coincided along these injuries, because these players have been some of our best players this season. Look, on yesterday, honestly, I can see why Davinson Sanchez started, because, look, he was off the back of a clean sheet against West Brom. He scored 2 goals against Everton. So, in my opinion, you had to start Davinson Sanchez. But man, that goal that he was at fault for, you could have clipped that and put it up with some circus music. It was an absolute joke. The first thing you're taught from 5 years of age, if you're in any sort of good academy, a defensive coach will teach you. Do not let the ball bounce in and around your box. Davinson Sanchez just let it bounce. Every time the ball goes in behind this guy, he doesn't know where the ball is. He constantly gets caught under the flight of the ball. And just touching on the Gareth Bale thing, Chris, as well. For me, the only reason why Gareth Bale came out and gave that performance, like that cameo he did yesterday, is purely because Mourinho rattled his cage in the press. Like, Gareth Bale has had numerous chances to do this so far and hasn't produced. And it's no coincidence that he came out and produced that cameo on that little dazzling run, because him and Mourinho are having tit for tat on social media and in the press.
Yeah.
Gareth Bale done it for Gareth Bale. He didn't do it for Tottenham. Let's not make any mistakes about that.
Antony, let's come to you. Now, Dom writes here, when Gareth Bale was at Madrid, the fans were against him. Bale needs our love and support in the stadium. If we were there, no doubt that he would be smashing it. Do you go along with that? What have you made of Gareth Bale's time at Spurs?
I mean, listen, it hasn't been the greatest, as we all know. But I did make a point the other week that if the fans were there singing, chanting his name, it would give you a lift. It's a natural thing. But footballing-wise, he hasn't been great. But that's just, is he injured? 1 minute he's injured, next minute he's not. He just needs a run of games. And I think coming on yesterday might have done the world of good. Hopefully he starts on Thursday, and then, hopefully it'll snowball from there. But I tell you something now, we need these results now. There's no low block, mid to high, mid to low. It's just got to go out and try and get these results, because winning is all that matters at the moment.
Antony, I was going to come on to that.
Chris. Sorry, mate.
At the moment, we are 9th in the Premier League. We're drifting down, being a mid-table team. Now, of course, results today, Arsenal beat Leeds United 4-2. Arsenal are now right behind us. Yeah. And, as you say, we need to start picking up points very, very quickly. And we've got West Ham United next Sunday. How do you see that one?
Who are flying? West Ham are flying, and I hate to admit that. But one thing us fans have got to realise is the minute this season starts and we have a nice little good run, everyone's willing to jump on all the other teams' bandwagon. You're crap. You're not going to finish there. You're not going to finish there. Let's get on with our business. Let's get on with Tottenham's business and not worry about the other teams until that final whistle on that final day. Because I've got a lot of Arsenal mates now telling me, and they're right, Arsenal's relegated season and Spurs' chances of the titles looks like we're 2 points behind you. It's a disgrace, and we've only got ourselves to blame. And I think that West Ham next week, West Ham's FA Cup final, they're going to be up for it. Are we up for it? That's the main question. And I'm very, very worried. I'm not going to lie.
Ian, going into the Europa League game this Thursday against Wolfsburg, and then, of course, back in Premier League action next Sunday. Now, Tottenham, 4 defeats in our last 5 Premier League games and 5 defeats in our last 6 games in all competitions. This is dreadful form, isn't it?
Oh, it's shocking. It really is. And my concern is when you actually looked at the way Harry played yesterday, he really didn't look as though he was actually fit for it himself anyway. So I think as though he's actually come back too soon. So we obviously need Bale. I think he's going to actually play a major part on Thursday. The West Ham game on Sunday, I agree with Antony. I think that's a worrying one, that one is. I can see us getting through on Thursday because it's on neutral ground, isn't it? And with no fans. So I presume it's no fans. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Chris, I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
Ian, can you turn your sound up?
I have. I've turned it right up.
Robotic.
Shall I put it on microphone?
Yeah, if you can work on your sound, and I'll just go to David on this next question. Yeah, David, question on screen here from 7X. We need better defenders. Forget attack and midfield. We need to hold games down.
Yeah, 100%. Look, we all sit here laughing at Malahed, Maguire, Bobo the Clown, David Luiz. We all sat here laughing at clips of them. Our defenders are doing the exact same thing at the minute. All these Jose out people just don't want to talk about our defenders. They want, they want to keep it a secret. At the end of the day, we have to talk about these problems to address them, and the defence is a major issue right now. You know what I mean? Like, Chris, I spoke before about Sanchez not being in Poch's team, Dyer not even being anywhere near Poch's team, Aurier wasn't near Poch's team. You know what I mean? Ben Davies was nowhere near Poch's team, and now all of a sudden they find themselves in the team because of a lack of investment. Do you know what I mean? A lack of proper investment at the back, and now they all find themselves in and around the team. Like, even under Poch's era, Chris, these were all players we would have identified to cash in on and create revenue to buy better players. these players were all players that every single one of us would have sat here and identified to sell on. Do you know what I mean? And now they find themselves in the starting 11. It's just not right. We have major issues at this club, and defence is it's as clear as day. Look, you know, what really annoys me is that in January, like, they knew this, like, you know, the mistakes were there in January. The mistakes were happening all throughout January. Now, they still had time to go and get something done, and they just didn't. You know, they could have even gone and got a loan, someone in to help out. They just didn't. And, you know what I mean? So for me, I think us Spurs fans are just going to have to suck this up now to the end of the season, and then come the summer, sit there and really reevaluate and reassess things. Because, honestly, it's getting unbearable now. It is getting unbearable. Like, it's getting to the point where it's actually heartbreaking seeing the club we all love playing, like, not playing this way, but defending this way. Like, there's no passion in their defending. Like, they don't want to defend first. Like, every great defender loves defending. The first thing they want to do is win that ball first. Our defenders don't. How many times did you see City just dazzling in and out of our players without putting a foot in? Like Ben Davies, you know what I mean? Week in, week out, he just keeps getting spun. Every time, most of their attacks come down the left-hand side because they know he's just not good enough. It's very worrying. It is very worrying. Look, I don't want to bring some positivity, though, because, look, I think on Thursday we're all going to be eating some burgers. And we're definitely going to be beating Wolfsburger. And then, I think Sunday, we are going to burst West Ham's bubbles. Do you know the way they like blowing bubbles and everything else? I think we're definitely going to burst them and bring them back down to reality. And then after that, we can go on a run. I think we have Palace, so we can definitely give the Palace mascot, the Eagle, a stone cold stunner. Because honestly, I think we're going to go on a run now. I think our bad patch is behind us. We're getting players back fit now, and I think we're going to go on a run. And I think a lot of people will be eating their words, to be honest.
Anthony, coming to you now, a question here from Nigel Fox, or a point. Should have bought Milan Skriniar in the summer. We're paying the price now for not improving the defence. Now, at the start of the season, Jose Mourinho came out and said that he is very happy with the squad. You know, even when he came in as Tottenham Hotspur manager 14 months ago, he said he was very happy with the squad. He's made signings. You know, a lot of Tottenham Hotspur fans commended the board, commended Daniel Levy for the investment that Jose Mourinho had been given in the summer. Of course, you know, only a few weeks ago, Tottenham was sat top of the Premier League for 5 weeks. Everything was rosy. Everyone was in a very, very good mood. And now we're all saying about the defence. And when you saw that lineup yesterday, you know, the back four, they hadn't played together in a game, in a Premier League game all season. Jose Mourinho keeps switching and swapping it around. You know, what is the answer?
The answer is they should have got a defender, mate. And Nigel's absolutely spot on. I think we were mucking about too much. We didn't invest in the. Listen, we haven't replaced Ericsson. We haven't replaced Jan Vertonghen. We haven't really replaced Kyle Walker. All right, we've got Doherty in. No disrespect, fella, but I know he's an Irish international. So
no, look,
forgive me,
Anthony, just because he's Irish, it doesn't excuse him. He's not good enough. I say it on my channel an awful lot.
Yeah,
he's not
good enough, mate. But you know, the ironic thing was when he played against us for Wolves, he was outstanding. So the minute we signed him, I was jumping up and down in the air, thinking, fantastic, we've got this great right wing back. He's a shadow of his former self. So it's just we've invested, but it's not the right sort of players, sort of personnel. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying? The only one really is Højbjerg. And we signed him early doors in exchange for Kyle Walker-Peters. So it wasn't like, but you know what upsets me is the fact that we get these players, but no other teams are in for. Like, you know, I'm going to go back now. Mora, Aurier, people like that. Yeah. No other teams are in for. So you think to yourself, why? What? That, do you know what I mean? I think we need to get these signings in early. And it just frustrates me that we always leave things, as we all know, to the last minute. Because the last minute ones do not work. Vinicius, everyone's jumping up and down. The geezer ain't hardly played. I can't judge him. I can't judge him against Marine. I can't judge him against a Europa side. I want to see him have a run against the Premier League. So it's just frustrating, mate. We haven't got the right personnel at the moment at this club, and it's just failing, and it's papering over the cracks. And I think it's gonna end in tears, mate. I really, really do. And I'll tell you something now. I hope I'm wrong, lads. I really do. I'll put my hands up and say, hey, I eat my hat.
Just come in on that, sorry. Look, the signs were actually there in the Europa League qualifying stage and Europa League group stages when the likes of Ben Davies, Harry Winks, players like that were playing in them games where we struggled. We got over the line in most of them. Let's be honest about it.
Exactly.
The signs were there in the Europa League all along. The signs were there, you know what I mean? I was able to sit there and say, we get a few injuries. It could cause us a few problems because our backup players are just not good enough. The signs were there. And just on what you were saying about Mourinho, Chris, about what Mourinho was saying, Spurs have a good team, he's happy with the squad. He has to say that. He's manager of the club. If he came in and said, you know what I mean, I want to get rid of this player, that player, they're not going to play for him. Players are just going to turn on him straight away. He has to say these things. And it's important that, people don't understand this. Even about signings that come in the door, whether it's his signing or not, he's not going to do what AVB just done at Marseille. Do you know what I mean? Where he comes out and say, I didn't want him. Because ultimately, it's not a good look for you. It's not a good look for the club. And you're going to get sacked. So he has to say they're good signings, whether they were his or not. And to be honest with you, I can think of a good few that weren't his signings. We only got gassed up over the transfer window because we've been starved of players in previous transfer windows. That's why. It's the only reason why we got gassed up. And again, we all fell for it. The board pulled the wool over our eyes.
Yeah, you're spot on, mate. Spot on.
Anthony, let me come back to you. After the game, Jose Mourinho said commitment, effort, and togetherness. The guys fought until the end, and I feel the result is too heavy. Now, Jose Mourinho has put a positive spin on the last couple of defeats, which has really, really surprised me as a Tottenham fan, because we're so used to him coming out and blaming the players and blaming this, that, and the other. But
Chris, he's damned if he's doing, he's damned if he don't. If he come out and went, Sanchez had a shocker, he had a shocker, Lloris could have saved that penalty, I wouldn't have a problem with that. But other fans will go, you're out of order, you're going to knock his confidence, oh my God, it's a meltdown, it's this, it's that, and it's terrible, it's terrible. So we have to say the positives, and I'm sitting here scratching my head thinking, did he watch the same game as I did, that the lads on the pod did? Because I want him to have a pop. I want him to, if I've had a bad performance, I want my manager to go, and what happened there? I want a director to turn around me with loads of notes and go, you did that wrong, you did that wrong, and you did that wrong. That only makes you a better player, a better person. But we can't say anything because everyone's up in arms about, Mourinho can't say anything bad about him because it's going to upset him and we've got to... It's just a joke. It's just a joke.
Just the way I see that right now is that, look, you have the fan base is split into two, okay? You have the Jose out people and the Jose in people. The Jose in people know what the problem is and they can foresee the problem. It's the board, it's the lack of investment, it's head of recruitment, everything right there is the problem. We want Jose to come out and say, look, Sanchez was poor today, he has to do better. We want him to come out and say that. But on the flip side, if he does, the Jose out people use that as, he's just taking away the players' confidence. You know what I mean? Why is he berating the players? This isn't so. Do you know what I mean? So they just use it to suit their agenda because a lot of these people, you have to remember, and I've heard a lot of people who are Jose out now at the very start, on podcasts, YouTube channels, stuff like this, say, I don't want Jose near my club from the very start as soon as he's appointed. So they haven't given him a chance. So anything he does, they flip to suit their agenda. And when he's gone, all they want to come out and say is, I told you so. In my opinion, they're not helping the club by using everything Mourinho says to suit their agenda. Care about the club first and foremost. That's what I say.
Absolutely. What's
in your heart? What's in your head? Care about your club. You put enough money in watching them. You put enough money into merchandise and everything else. Care about your club first.
Do
not let Mourinho play them.
Some enthusiasm in that one. They've got to man up and take some responsibility for it as well, haven't they? Sometimes you don't have to be told what you actually done wrong. You should actually know. That's part of a debriefing after a game, surely. Analysing what you've done wrong during the game.
No, 100%. 100%. Look, these players should be walking off with their heads bowed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Field full of shame. Do you know what I mean? But, honestly, when you look at that team, how many players do you really think came off the pitch and actually, was embarrassed with some of their performances? Do you know what I mean? Because I can tell you, for me, probably, I think the only ones that would probably come in and be angry with themselves would be Kane, Son and Iber. Apart from that, I think the rest are just all go lucky.
Yeah. Ian, let's come back to you. Now, a lot of the fans blame the board. A lot of the fans blame the players. And a lot of fans are blaming the manager. Now, who is to blame? Who is the problem? Because, is it a mixture?
You've got to look at the board because as it is at the moment, we can't be in the situation of going for a new manager every year. you've got every year they're going, oh, it's got to be the players out or the manager out or something like that. But the manager, he's a coach. He's not a manager, is he? Really? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's not really making many decisions.
Mm.
That's the reason, going back to what Antony said about last minute for the transfer window and whatever. It's because he's trying to actually get a bargain all the time, isn't it? Really?
All the time.
Negotiating the final package as small as possible and small payments. That's what it's about.
Well, you can see on screen there, Ian, that Bobby writes Bruno Fernandes and Jack Grealish. You know, these players have slipped through the net, and we've only seen that we got the the bargain bucket Jedson Fernandes rather than the actual premium Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at Grealish, what did he offer? 8 million or something for him, didn't he?
It was 8 million plus Josh Finema, I believe. Yeah.
At the time, it was either Lo Celso or Bruno Fernandes. If we would have spent the extra 10 million, we would have got Fernandes. He came out publicly and said he wanted to come to Tottenham.
He wanted to come, didn't he? Yeah.
And Dybala as well. So you're looking at proven world-class players, okay? Now, forgive me if I'm wrong, lads. I'm going to throw a question out to you lot. We're all the same sort of age, and we've followed Tottenham for many years. When was the last time we signed a world-class player? And I'm going to say that very slow. A world-class player, not a player that's come to us and become world-class.
Yeah.
Klinsmann,
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was what?
Jurgen Klinsmann, 1994.
Yeah.
So what, 28 years ago, 27 years ago?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? This is where we fail. This is where sometimes we go wrong. We get the lucky gems in the mod, you're choosing your Bales, obviously, and your Bertoffs and people like that. But in terms of buying a world-class player that's already been there, done it, and won it, it's very few and far between, and it's very, very sad.
Well, they actually was saying today that actually the people that are having a COVID jab now, right, are the only ones that will have seen Tottenham win the league.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I've got one of the shirts here.
And sorry, Chris, just to your point, is it Mourinho or the board? Look, it's all there. It's glaring obvious for you to see. Like Antony's question there, when was this last time we signed a world-class player? Jurgen Klinsmann. You know what I mean? I think I was, 5 or 6 at the time?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's how long it's been. Like, and then also you can go back and look at Poch's team compared to the team he had when he got sacked, compared to the team like Mourinho inherited, like our investment since the prime Poch team. It's all there. It's glaringly obvious to see where the problems are. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, this whole system is set up to protect this back four. Now, imagine if it wasn't, we would be getting slapped every single week. The fact that the whole system is designed to set up the back four and they're still making these errors just proves to you that.
Yeah, but when we bought Doherty, he was bought with a view to going and playing in a 3. He was never bought to play in a 4, was he? All of a sudden, we just mucked around with the system straight away afterwards.
Yeah.
And if they'd done the homework and watched them, if they'd done the homework and watched them at international level, they could see he was never going to be good enough to play for Tottenham, because for Ireland, he's been very poor. He's been poor ever since he's come into the team. He's never replicated that form. Look, I think there was something wrong with him when we signed him. That's why we got him so cheap, and that's why Wolves were so willing to let him go. Personally, I think they've done us over there big time.
David, I'm going to be very careful how I word this, because whenever I say anything against Jose Mourinho, I have lots of viewers saying, it's not him. Whatever you say, you've got other fans saying opposite, and we've all got our different opinions, but all of us want the same thing. We all want to be entertained. We all want to see great football, and we all want to see trophies. We all want to see Tottenham Hotspur win. But I'm just going to give you this point that I noticed in a national newspaper today. Now, points per game, Jose Mourinho in his career: 2.45 at Porto, 2.43 Real Madrid, 2.2 at Chelsea, 2.18 at Inter. His worst was at Manchester United, 1.89. His worst now is at Spurs, 1.65 points per match.
Yeah.
And he seems to be breaking all of these records in a very bad way, because he'd never lost 3 games in a row in his career. He's done that. He'd never lost back-to-back home games in his career. He's done that at Spurs. Are you a big Jose fan? Do you want him to stay at the club? Because, as I say, lots of people are blaming the board. Lots of people are blaming Jose. If we get to a position, and I said earlier, we're 9th in the Premier League,
Yeah.
Do the board make a decision soon? Because say if we don't get a result at West Ham, and then and then the next Premier League game I think is Burnley at home. You know, if we don't get results in these games, they sacked Pochettino because they thought that Pochettino couldn't get Tottenham into the Champions League, which is a board requirement. They want Champions League football there. So how do you see it panning out?
First of all, on your point, if you look at the squads he had at Inter Milan, you look at the squad he built at Porto with like Deco, Ricardo Quaresma, all players that ended up moving on to top-class clubs. You look at the squad he had at Madrid. Then you go to United. At the time, he inherited a squad with 3 or 4 different manager stamps on it at the time. He's coming to Tottenham. The squad, again, is nowhere near the standard that it was at previous when Tottenham were making waves in English football. So you have to look at the squad he's managing. Like, that stat just proves that to me. You look at the squads where he had all of his win ratios compared to the squads he's come back now, that he's inherited at United and Tottenham. They've been a lot worse. Like, and look, even at United, let's not forget this. He won trophies. Like, his CV, people say they don't want to talk about his CV, but his CV's proven. You invest and buy the players Jose wants you to buy, you win trophies. His CV has proven that. The only club that's not going to happen is Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Why are we always special? Why are we always special? Then am I a Jose fan? I hated Jose for years. I hated Jose Mourinho. But, you know, he came to Tottenham. I've hated him, but I've admired him at the same time because he's always won trophies. No matter how much hate the guy gets, he's always won trophies. So no, I respect him. And then when I look at it, he's the most decorated manager that we've ever had come to the club. You know what I mean? So if we do things right and his way, he's going to deliver trophies. It's that simple. And then where do I see us going? Look, ultimately, we all know the manager carries the can. But whatever manager you bring in, we are not getting fourth. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? We can bring in another manager and go and play attacking football. But you see what happened against Everton. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think though, David, the board, do you think that they're looking at performances at the moment, thinking that the players are good enough to get that top 4 place? Or do you think that Jose has actually spoke to Daniel Levy and said, look, I need, you know, much better players? And then he'll say, yeah, but you said at the start of the season that you had the players to get us in that 4th place and win us a cup. So, you know, what happens?
Chris, like, look, Daniel Levy and Mourinho footballing people. When Mourinho comes out and says that in the press, like, you know, they both know that he has to come out and say that. That's the thing. They both know he has to come out and say that. He's only new at the club. He's not going to come out and start speaking bad. It's that simple. And then when you say onto the board, if they're looking at what we're watching week in, week out right now, and they can't see that injuries like Reguilon being out at left back, for instance, is a major loss. We've less points per game with Ben Davies in the team than we do with Reguilon. We have a few more losses with we've 3 more losses with Ben Davies in the team than we do with Reguilon. You know, more goals when Reguilon is in the team than what we do with Ben Davies. Things like this affect your performances when your better players are out injured. So if the board can't look at what we're seeing right now and understand that it's injuries, you know, some of the players at the club just aren't good enough to be here, but then, Chris, they're not footballing people. Like, you know what I mean? It just goes to show to me all they care about is money. They don't actually love our club because any footballing person, like, you know what I mean? Even Jose out fans know the defenders just aren't good enough. So if the board can't see that, then we've no hope.
Anthony, what's the answer for the rest of the season, though? Because, of course, we've got another, 15 games in the Premier League to go.
Yeah.
And when I've looked at the Premier League table and worked out the teams playing before us, you know, against West Ham next Sunday, you know, we could be 9 points off top 4 next week.
Yeah, with a game in hand, which I'm not excited about because that's Villa, and I think that we won't turn up. I hate being negative, but coming to your point about Jose and listen, Jose's, as you said, you know, you give him the tools, it will build you the most amazing house. Do you see what I'm saying? We haven't got that. So what's he going to do? Make Dyer into the next Franco Baresi? It ain't going to happen. Do you see what I'm saying? Make Davis into Roberto Carlos? It's never going to happen. So we've got to grin and bear it and just applaud and, you know, and just go, yeah, brilliant. We won a game. Fantastic. Do we enjoy the football? Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. What I don't condone, and that's my personal opinion, is losing the way we did against Everton the other night. Chris, you was with me the other night, right? and everyone applauding, going, what's a great game of football. The Tottenham way. The Tottenham
Still saying
way.
disappointment.
30 years. I was 9 years old when we last won an FA Cup. Do you see what I'm saying? Ain't good enough. Ain't good enough. I don't want to applaud failures, and I don't want to applaud mediocrity. I want to applaud going out there and giving each team a game. And as I said when we first started talking, this was Arsenal's supposedly worst season in the world. Well, they're now 2 points behind us. That's all I'm going to say. So people, if you're listening, the one thing you could do for me, right, is stop tweeting mind the gaps and all that when we're 10 points ahead of them. Because I tell you something, it comes back and bites us on the behind all the time. That's why it just upsets me, because we're a laughing stock. We are a laughing stock. We are Dr. Tottenham.
Anthony, let me put it to you.
Even Mourinho said in the documentary, when I used to play Tottenham, I would beat you in the first minute because you didn't have that. And I'll tell you something now, we still haven't got that. No matter who comes in, no matter what manager comes in. Yeah, sorry,
I want this to be a fair and balanced debate amongst us all. And you know, a lot of people think that I'm Jose out. I'm neither Jose in or Jose out. I don't know what the best thing is to do. But
I'm with you.
Anthony, let me put this to you. Is it all bad? Because Tottenham are in a cup final. We're in the Carabao Cup final. And if we get to that, I know it's a big if we get to that Europa League final and win, we would then play Champions League football next year. Jose Mourinho can then have a summer, spend whatever money Daniel Levy and the ball gives him, and then Tottenham have a trophy for the first one in 13 years. Is it all bad? Am I being negative about Jose and about Tottenham at the moment? Because
no, Chris, you're being realistic, mate. Listen, is the Europa League Cup there to be won? Absolutely. Do I think we can win it? No, I don't. Because I tell you something, there's bigger and better teams out there. You know, I wouldn't fancy facing the likes of even Benfica, people like that who are proper team, like Tottenham, but they could go on and beat us. You know, I'm worried about Thursday because Wolfsburg ain't lost for the last 16 or 17 games or something. Lee McQueen told me last night. And I think, well, they're going to be well up for it. It's their cup final. We've just got a mistake in us, and that's the worrying thing. When and how are they going to score? How are they going to score? Through a mistake from us. Everton did outplay us the other night. We gifted them 3 of the 5 goals. And that, to me, is not good enough. No matter who's in charge. It's always happened. From Harry Redknapp to Martin Yole to ABB to even Poch. Poch 2-0 up against Bayern Munich and we go and lose 7-2. How am I applauding that? People we
lost 3-0 to Brighton as well. There's loads of games you can pick out from Poch that are similar to this crop now.
Colchester United. I was there.
Yeah.
Colchester United, man. Again, another League Cup round.
Anthony, does it feel any different now?
No.
Does it feel any different to the last day of Pochettino?
Chris, it did at first because obviously we was top of the league and it was exciting. It's been fantastic. And we were beating Man United and Southampton and playing some good football. But now it's like same old Tottenham. It's like, being under AVB again. Without the likes of people like, Bale in his prime.
Ian, let's come to you. I know lots of us were very, very connected to Mauricio Pochettino, as Tottenham Hotspur fans. And I'm sorry to bring up Pochettino because I know a lot of viewers on this channel say, why do you keep going on about Pochettino all the time? I think it's very relevant because lots of Tottenham Hotspur fans on social media in the last couple of days have written basically the same thing. Feel very disconnected to Tottenham right now. Why do you think that is, Ian? Is it because of COVID-19? Is it because we're not in the stadiums? Is it our style of play? Or is it the fact that we were so connected to Mauricio Pochettino and people just don't want to accept Jose?
It's a bit of everything, really. If you remember when this first kicked off and what have you, with the Pochettino going, I said I'd take Mourinho, win a couple of trophies, and then I'd have Poch back like a shot, And I still feel exactly the same way now. It was the only thing that we needed to win a trophy to appease the fans, Not even us as much the players, but if you actually look at the way we play with COVID now, there's the away team actually is set up better with this COVID, with no fans as it is at the moment. They've got less fear, and we actually couldn't win an away game, could we? So we're basically shooting ourselves in the foot. That's the reason why we're not picking up many points, because we don't have a style of play that suits either home or away at the moment. We've got no confidence for it. Yeah, that's my perception. I think it's actually just a bit of everything. I think if the fans were there and we were playing negatively, we would actually, the fans would be really on the players' back, wouldn't they? You know, with no fans, if there was fans there, they'd be really on the players' back with our performances at the moment. So it's probably lucky we've got COVID.
David, do you think it would be different for Jose Mourinho now if the fans were there?
Yeah, look, I do honestly. But look, football fans aren't stupid, you know. They're still gonna boo the players as well for the mistakes they're making. Look, I have a point I want to make, and then I have a question for you, Chris, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, look, we have to remember under Pochettino, okay, that the reason why we were getting top four consistently a lot is because you had Arsenal on a rebuild, you had United on a rebuild, you had Chelsea on a rebuild, you had a lot of the old traditional top teams on a rebuild period. So there was room for us to squeeze in there. Now, what's happened since is that we haven't invested right. We've invested cheap, okay? And other clubs like United, and it kills me to say this because I hate every other team in the league apart from Tottenham. But all these other clubs have reinvested smartly, and that's why they're getting back up there, and we're falling so far behind. It's as clear as day. But my question to you, Chris, is okay. So, like, obviously, look, the stadium and the training complex over the years has affected our spend. But would you rather still be at an absolute rocking White Hart Lane with 35 other thousand people singing and winning most weeks and not have the new stadium and complex? Or would you rather have the stadium and complex but not have the players to go with it and basically put up with these defensive mistakes every week?
White Hart Lane was always a special place, but the stadium, the new stadium, is unreal and you know, fantastic place to go. But like Pochettino said, you know, you can have a big mansion, but you need the furniture to go in it, and we do need that investment. And one thing that really upset me was Mauricio Pochettino, in my opinion, wasn't backed properly. When you've got a manager taking you to a Champions League final and not spent a penny in 518 days, you know, give the man time. And I know a lot of fans probably wanted Mauricio Pochettino out. I didn't. When he was sacked, it felt like a death to me in the family. I was so upset about Mauricio Pochettino getting the sack. I really was. I thought he'd done so much at the club. I know, Anthony, you'll probably disagree because I think you wanted him out at the time.
Chris, no. I love Poch. I love what he did. I love the fact that we had consistent Champions League matches, but what I don't condone is throwing League Cup rounds away and FA Cup rounds away and losing, you know, being 2-0 up at Bayern Munich and we're rocking and then we lose 7-2. Yeah. I don't. There's some games where I can't get it out of my head, and it's not about Poch. It's the way he was too nice, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, I want us to win trophies. Yeah, bottom line is I want us to win trophies. But I'm fed up of seeing them not down the road texting me the day they win an FA Cup, going, "Oh, we just won the FA Cup. God, it's getting boring now." Laugh out loud. I wish I was in that position. I wish, but we ain't got the right. This is my point. This is what's bugging me.
The thing is, though, Anthony, when you look at Pochettino's time at Spurs, he always delivered Champions League final, which, of course, is a board requirement. So,
Chris, listen. Yeah, we went to the Champions League final, right, and rightly so, but we got there on a VAR decision. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Look at the luck we had along the way.
We didn't go to Man City and batter them. We didn't go to Ajax and batter them. We got to Ajax and Lucas Moura and all that. But this is we got there with the skin of our teeth. Now, yes, it was brilliant, but go out to that Champions League final and show up. We didn't even show up, and I don't. And that's the day I thought I'm done with it. I'm done with it because I watched that final. I said to you many times, I watched that final. We lost it. You see everyone crying and all that, and I just read, it is what it is, isn't it? Spurs, same old Spurs.
As well, on that run to the Champions League final, our league form was absolutely dreadful.
We couldn't win away for 11 months. 11 months. That's worse than now.
So,
In answer to your question, though, David, I love White Hart Lane. I do love this new stadium as well. But Tottenham had to make that move. It was a commercial move for the club as well. It brings in so much revenue, obviously not during COVID-19, but it brings in so much revenue for the club. And I think that's probably what's frustrated more fans, that the fact that they're seeing all this money coming into the club and they want to see it spent on the pitch. And so do I. I know Jose Mourinho was backed in the summer, but as we've all said, you know, players like Milan Skriniar and, you know, big names like Bruno Fernandes, we want to see superstars. And Antony Costa is absolutely right. Jurgen Klinsmann, 1994, was the last superstar in my eyes that we signed. You know, hugely exciting day for Tottenham then. And that was under Alan Sugar. So, you know, we want to see vast investment on the pitch, and we want to see superstars come to our club. And, you know.
Yeah, but the next one to go, it'll be Kane will be wanting to go, won't he?
Yeah, 100%. And do you blame
This is the thing. We had a chance to build around Gareth Bale at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't. We sold him.
Sold it.
Like, you know, Harry Kane, he said this, like, you know, the comments were there. They're all out there in the media and that. Like, you know, as long as Tottenham progress, he's happy to stay. Now, we've regressed. So, for me, he could be gone this summer. And you know what I mean? I wish him on with every wish for success for the guy. Because he's hung around long enough. So, like, the board have failed Harry Kane too. When you have a player at Tottenham like Harry Kane, you also have to take that into account and have the vision to say, you know, we build around this guy, we're going to win things, we can be dominant. We just haven't done it.
Do you know what I think he's going to do, Kane? Again, I hope I'm wrong. I think he's going to do Teddy Sheringham. He's going to go to maybe Man City or Man United. I'm just putting it out there. Win a couple of trophies and come back when he's 31, 32 and he's done everything and he's going to come back to Spurs and enjoy his football and then retire and then it's all done.
Yeah. And like you said, Anthony, no Spurs fan will blame Harry Kane for leaving if he did, because you know we've seen many times.
The only thing that's going to keep him is actually trying to beat Jimmy Greaves' record, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's fantastic, but does that keep someone, you know, to be the best? I mean, Jimmy Greaves, obviously I wasn't around, but you know, the old man says he was the best goal scorer, and exactly, but he still won FA Cup, league champions, you know. Yeah. So with Kane, is it more about winning the trophies or just being the best all-time goal scorer at Spurs, which doesn't get you a medal or a cup? I
have to remember, it's not just Kane, lads. Son still hasn't signed that contract.
Yeah. Are you doubting it?
I don't know. Like, look, everyone, like, I know he loves Tottenham. I know he loves being here. But at the same time, if you're a player and you're at that level that's saying Son and Kane are at, you know what I mean? Like, you get to that level because your desire to go and win things. So, like, you know, if the club is failing them, then eventually they are going to question, like, you know what I mean? Especially later on they get in the career. Like, no, they could be looking at saying, I have 2-3 good years left at the top. I'm out. Do you know what I mean? Like, the only way I can see them staying is if, like, you know what I mean, Jose Mourinho, Daniel Levy, and the two lads have Son and Kane sit down and, you know what I mean, Daniel Levy and Jose can put across them, look, this is our plans this summer. This is who we're going to get, and they like it and they stay. Apart from that, you know, like, if they go, lads, we're in a painful situation because we do not have a great track record over the last couple of times we bought strikers. Like, you know, you think back to Soldado, Janssen, players like that. We don't have a good track record. Replacing Harry Kane is going to be impossible. Replacing Son is going to be impossible.
Anthony, I'm going to come to you.
Yeah, go on, mate.
Bobby writes on the screen, give us something positive. I'll come to you for that one.
Well, listen, I wish
Japhet Tanganga.
I wish it was. Yeah, Japhet Tanganga was brilliant last night. But again, in a game where he was the best out of a bad bunch, so you can't really judge him on that. But he done all right. But what
he's going to be a player, isn't he?
He's going to be a good player, but I can't sit here losing 3-0 to City and go, oh yeah, well that ball that Kane did to Son in the 88th minute was brilliant. The game's done. So what do you want me to sit here say anything positive about what? It's the truth. It's in black and white, and I hate saying that. It kills me. It just destroyed me, mate, last night. And as I said when we first started chatting, I was sitting there waiting for the mistake to happen, and it did. And Spurs have sucked the life out of Højbjerg. Højbjerg now is becoming a Spurs player because he's making mistakes. And I'm looking around at that team going, I thought Højbjerg would be the winner that he is. And you know, he's my favourite player so far this season, along with Kane and Son. But everything else is just falling apart. It's just so sad to see.
Antony, as a Tottenham fan, what would you be happy with at the end of the season?
I think top 4 is looking bleak. Listen, if we can nick a League Cup, it's one-off game. That to me, I'll be happy with. But again, it's a poison chalice. I mean, Lee McQueen last night said on the pod, he went, if Kane and Son win that League Cup, is that enough for them to go, all right, we've won something, I'm going to go now? Or if they don't win it, they can turn around and go, well, I want to go and win things. So it's just a bit of madness, isn't it, that you put it out there. But if we were still in the FA Cup and obviously the League Cup final, then I'm going, we've got a good chance for both. Obviously, we're out of the FA Cup, but Europa, I can't see us doing anything there. I think we'll get to quarters, maybe semis, and probably just fold. I hope I'm wrong, by the way.
So honest answer then, if you were Harry Kane or Heung-min Son and Tottenham won a League Cup and we finished in a Europa League place, would you stay?
I would, but I would want to see who we're selling and who we're buying. I'll be knocking on Levy's door going, right, okay, Daniel, I've stayed, I want to know what's going on. I don't want to see last-minute.com deals and a swap deal and Jack Clark going on loan and Ryan Sessegnon coming back and then moving back out on loan. I want to see other players coming into this squad to make the squad bigger and better.
Ian, let's come to you for some positivity. Of course, we're pinning our hopes as all Tottenham fans that we're going to win the League Cup and get in that final and win the Europa League this season. Do you see it happening?
Yeah. Is it happening? Yeah, we should. I'm still positive we'll win something. I'm not with Antony and thinking about we won't win the Europa. I think we could do it.
Listen, I hope I'm wrong, mate.
Until you're knocked out, you've got to be positive, haven't you?
Of course you do. Listen, I agree with everything you're saying. I want to be, but I know that we're going to get to a semi-final. Something's going to slip. We're going to give a penalty away. Someone's going to get sent off, and then we fold.
You see, I can see in the next 4 games, I can see us going on a bit of a run with those 4 games. Yeah. And that's what you've got to do, is get confidence. I think Lloris is actually a weak link, right? So that's why because there's no strength in the back, is there? Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, you're right.
That's another player that we have to get his long-term replacement in the summer, is Lloris.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely.
That's more money.
He's got away with it lightly over the last couple of seasons, especially this season.
Totally. We should have sold him 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's time then to replace our goalkeeper, Ian.
Yeah.
Totally. 100%. You got 2 at Manchester United. I'd actually take either of them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take De Gea.
I don't know. He's still got something about him. If he's got something to prove.
Who's that?
Yeah. De Gea.
Nah, I don't know. Look, I think he's kind of had his day in the Premier League. I think his career is going to go the way Joe Hart's career has gone, to be honest with you. That's what it looks like to me. But for me, honestly, I would actually love to go and get Nick Pope. The guy faces shots week in, week out. He's a shot stopper. You know what I mean? He does save shots. But it's not only that we have to, it's not by choice that we have to look for Lloris. It's by necessity, because he's 1 year left on his contract. There's no guarantee he's going to sign. So if he doesn't sign this summer, he's 1 year left. And for me, he already has eyes on going to PSG, Pochettino,
he's going,
retiring. So we have to start looking for his replacement. In fact, that should have happened this summer, all the way through this season. I hope they've been scouting and have identified someone by now that they're going to bring in this summer.
But you see, if you can actually if you can get a settled back 4 and get a couple of results, that will set us up beautifully for the final parts of the Europa League run, wouldn't it?
Yeah, lads, would you? I'm going to throw a name out there, right? Don't shut down. I'm just going to put a name out there. Would you take Lewis Dunk from Brighton?
No.
Okay.
I would,
I would.
I think it's better than what we have.
I think he's a bit slow.
Okay.
The thing is, Antony, we all talk about players. We've only just bought Joe Rodon.
Yeah, I know, Chris, but Joe Rodon is just one man. He's going to play on behind him next to him. Alderweireld, I adore the man, but his legs are going. We need someone.
Yeah.
Let's call it straight. Eric Dyer, bless him, he's not good enough at the moment. I hope he gets better, but I can't see it. Davinson Sanchez, as we know, has got a lot of mistakes in him. Joe, you put pressure on the Tanganga and Rodon. Listen, we've tried everything else. You might as well try that. Who knows? Listen.
I was actually saying to Chris here last week about Tanganga that he was the only one out of all the back four, or out of all the defenders we have in the squad, that hasn't been given a fair shot, and I would play him. And he actually played well against City, I think. For me, I think he played at right back because Aurier still has a knock. But I do think you might see him move in beside Toby Alderweireld at centre back, going on for the rest of the season. Just touching on your point as well about Rodon. Look, the thing is, we're supposed to be Tottenham Hotspur, a team that are hoping for Champions League. Now, what is a Champions League team doing? Buying a Championship centre back.
Yeah,
like it doesn't make sense. We have to be buying better. We have to be recruiting better players if you want to be a Champions League team. You buy cheap, and this is the result of it.
You know what, though, David? You could say, or some people could say, Davinson Sanchez, who was laying on the floor yesterday from one of Manchester City's goals, dreadful defending from him, cost £42 million. But
at the same time, Chris, we could have got the Ligt. But Matthias de Ligt was there when Sanchez was there. Why didn't we go for Matthias de Ligt? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but he's actually imploded this year, isn't he? Really?
Who?
Sanchez. I think he's gone shocking this year.
But he was even poor when he filled in under Pochettino. Do you know what I mean? Like, and the thing is, at the time when we bought Sanchez, Chris, he was still a youngster. Like we should be buying and at the time we also had Alderweireld and Vertonghen, so you can afford to buy a youngster and try and bleed him in. But when we went into this transfer window and they knew Vertonghen was going, you're looking at it and you're okay with Alderweireld, we've no one to partner with. So you don't go and get Joe Rodon. You go and get the very best you can get if you're looking at the squad from a logical point of view.
Yeah, maybe Vestergaard from Southampton. Listen. The bottom line, why I'm saying these players, lads, I'm just throwing names out there, is because we need at this present time for the summer transfer window. Whoever leaves us goes, right? But I want a player that knows the Prem straight away. And that, to me, is where we've lacked for a long, long, long time. Listen, I want the superstars. Of course I do. Absolutely. I want the Barlas and this one and that one. Of course I do. But listen, if you get Bruno Fernandes that's come in and smashes the Premier League, brilliant. But that's one in every 10 or 12 signings for any club. But what I want is someone that's Prem proven, knows the Premier League, knows about the Christmas fixture list, knows about, playing on Wednesday and Thursday, Wednesday and Saturday, Thursday and Sunday, and knows how tough the Premier League is. Because we've had so many signings in the past, as we know, that's come in and taken 8-9 months, then the season's done, then they can't settle, then they don't understand why they play over Christmas, and then they do that, and it just gets the same excuses all the time. And unfortunately, we can't have any excuses now. We have to sign players to hit the ground running straight away. Do you see what I'm saying?
Anthony, it's all well and good. All of us fans keep saying, go out and sign X, Y, and Z players, but we've got 15. We've got 15 games left of the Premier League season. We've got the Europa League run, of course, and then we've got the League Cup final against Manchester City, which obviously we know after yesterday is going to be a very, very difficult game. I know it's a one-off, but still a very, very difficult game. What does Jose Mourinho do from now until the end of the season before he signs players, if he indeed gets that time?
He needs to steady the ship at the moment, mate. He needs to steady it. He needs to just go, listen, lads, it's not working, but let's work as a team now, and let's get through this season. Because if the ball don't back him, I can see him going. I really, really do. And then it starts from the top. They got the money, they got the investment. They need to back Jose, or if they sack Jose, they need to bring someone else in and go straight away. And that's the bottom line.
What can you see
come in with a name? You were asking about a name for centre backs and stuff like that. And the name that I was thinking of, Tyrone Mings.
Yeah, again.
Yeah.
Tyrone Mings.
You look at half of the squad, they'd all get into our team, most of them.
All day long, mate. All day long.
Yeah. But he's he's actually a jobbing footballer, isn't he? So he's attainable value-wise, Yeah.
But he's go for him.
He's mobile enough.
Yeah, no, exactly. What? No, as well. He can't get into City's team. But look at the beauty of City. Obviously, they got money, but it's just sad when you see, you know, a decent player that can't even get in the team. Like Carl Walker last night, he didn't even start last night. So you think,
the likes of Aston Villa, they're a prime example that you don't like. If you invest right, you get reward. You know what I mean? Like if you look at them last season, right? The board knew that if they carried on with the same squad, they were going to get relegated. So what they've done is this summer they invested wisely, and for me, they have every chance of making Europa League spot in the league this year. And that's what you call smart investment. Like you look at the likes of Matty Cash. We paid the extra few million from Doherty. We could have got him. He'd get in at right back. Tyrone Mings would get in at centre back.
Yeah. Who else?
You go on to Ross Barkley. You know who they loaned in. You go on to John McGinn. You go on to Jack Grealish. I'd even have Ollie Watkins on the right-hand side for us. Yeah. And again, a lot of these players all meet your English quota that a lot of us were saying that we couldn't sign players because of.
Yeah. You're spot on, mate. You're spot on. And
Anthony, let's talk about the captain. Of course, Hugo Lloris is our captain, but do you think that needs to change? Do you think that Pierre-Emile Højbjerg perhaps should be the captain instead?
Yeah, I think so. I think I'm a believer of either a centre half or a centre mid needs to be captain. I'm old school like that. I've never understood why goalkeepers are captain. That's just me. That's just a preference. Højbjerg captain and Kane vice captain. That's just me.
He was spilled blood to the club, wasn't he?
Ian, what do you think has happened to Hugo Lloris? Because, of course, those 3 goals yesterday, you know, arguably, they were all at him. He could have saved every single one of them.
Yeah. When as soon as they went in, I was going, oh, well, that's 3 that Lloris has scored tonight, isn't it, really? Yeah, because all of them were doable. He could have saved that as a penalty, but it's just mind's not on it. And I've seen phases of this last year as well. Even when we were in the stadium, you saw areas. So he's just, I don't think he's ever been the same for the last 3 or 4 years, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably having an unsettled back 4 probably doesn't help.
Yeah, no,
Ian, I asked Antony the question earlier. Yeah. What will you be happy with at the end of the season?
What would I be happy with? I would think we need to win a cup. We need to win a cup to get back to playing proper football, because then we can get rid of Jose. But we've got to win something first, I think. I don't know. I'd rather actually. I'd like to win the Europa, right? But if we didn't actually win the Europa, I wouldn't even want to come in. I wouldn't want to qualify for Europa next year. I'd rather come outside of that.
David, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because Europa League final is in May.
Yeah.
If the board leave it until May and Tottenham drift down the table and we're not sitting in a Champions League place or indeed even a Europa League place, you know, what do the board do? Do they make a decision before? You know, if we do get that far in the Europa League?
No. Look, for me, you give Jose until the summer. At the end of the day, no matter who you look, the only managers that are really about, you know, is Frank Lampard, who definitely don't want, and Eddie Howe, who is another one I don't want, because you're going to play attacking football, but you're going to leak goals at the back, so they're not ideal for the club. At the minute, for me, look, you just keep Jose until the summer. Look, the whole thing is people talk about top 4 in Champions League football. The thing is, the season isn't done, so we can't sit here and say Jose hasn't done his job. Like, we have every chance of being able to get all of our players back to the same squad back together that we had when we were winning games on top of the league. Back now, we can go on a nice little run. You know what I mean? We could even pick up a nice run before the League Cup final, beat City. I think if Jose wins that, he's here till the summer regardless. And then, you know what I mean? You can still, like, we've an easy tie now coming up Thursday night. We should get through that 2 legs easy. After that, it's about who you draw. If we can keep getting the luck of the draw, I think we can go to the Europa League final. But, like, let's not write Jose off yet. Let's not write off Champions League football yet, because the way the season and the way the league is gone, if we go on a run, within 4 or 5 weeks' time, we could very well find ourselves sitting in and around top 4 or a couple of points off top 4. And like, Jose could also go and win us the Europa League, and that way we've got Champions League. You know what I mean? We've won a trophy. So the Champions League for me, for Jose, is his get out of jail free card, and he's pleased both the board and the fans with a trophy and Champions League football. So for me, I keep Jose because Honestly, going into finals and going into these cup games, is there any other man you would want in charge instead of than Jose? Because Jose wins cups. So for me, you keep him till the end of the season. You give him a chance to achieve what the board's objectives was for him to achieve in the first place. Like if you sack him now, you haven't really given him a chance to achieve that, have you?
Yeah.
No. Antony, let's come to you. Lee Chappie writes, Leicester fan, looks like Jamie Vardy lookalike, said that we needed you lot to beat Manchester City yesterday. It's probably done and dusted now. Manchester City running away with it. Now, a result just happened. Everton 0, Fulham 2. Unbelievable results, some of these Premier League games.
That's what I mean. But Fulham were fantastic. I was sort of like, looking a little bit, and some of the football they were playing, I can't believe they're in the bottom 3. When they turned up against us, didn't they? Blimey. They gave us a run for our money, and I just thought, fair play to them, fair play to Scotty Parker, and I hope they do well, and I hope they, survive relegation.
Antony, let's come back to you. Now, of course, this coming week, Wolfsburg away. We're now playing the game in Hungary rather than Austria, and then, of course, we've got West Ham United on Sunday in the Premier League. How do you see these games going? What lineup will Jose Mourinho go with? Will he change the defence again? What is the answer, and what will happen this week?
Well, he's going to change the defence again on Thursday, obviously because he's thinking about the Sunday game. So I think Sanchez will still play on probably Thursday, because we've got no one else. It's just David's obviously going to get a run out. But I'll play a couple of the youngsters, mate. Give them a bit of a run out. What worse can they do? Does he go strong with Kane and Son? I think he has to. I think he really has to, because if we lose that game on Thursday, the floodgates are going to open, mate. The confidence is going to be on the floor, and then come Sunday when we play West Ham, they'll be up for it. They're above us for the first time in years, and they're just going to hope they're going to want to beat us, and I hope that don't happen, because it's going to be embarrassing.
But what does Jose Mourinho do, though, Antony? Does he put a fairly decent team out in this Europa League game to get a very comfortable win? And then does he play some of those players in the game against West Ham to take those players to be confident to go into that London derby?
Unfortunately, Chris, I think he has to, because we haven't got the beauty of a great squad. So you have to take what's in front of you, the best players, to go and get the job done. It's such a shame. I don't want to see Kane on Thursday. I want him to have a rest for Sunday. He might have a rest. He might give Vinicius a run out. But I just can't see Kane not playing on Thursday or being on the bench. He'll probably start with Kane, hopefully get the result done, then take him off. But who knows? It's second guessing all the time. I want us to win on Thursday. Of course I do, and I want to batter West Ham. But it's I can't. I don't know. It's just so frustrating at the moment.
Ian, it's very hard to predict a Jose Mourinho starting 11 at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I think I agree with Antony. I think it's going to be a strong team on Thursday night. They'll play Sonny and they'll play Kane. But hopefully we'll have done enough to actually bring Vinny on at half time. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be long until when's Lucho's held back? It's fortnight, isn't it?
That one keeps being delayed a few weeks. I think Reguilon will be back for the Europa League game
on Thursday.
Yeah, which
is great, because then we can actually sort of like just get rid of Davies and forget we ever owned him. I'm afraid I'm not a great fan of Davies. His confidence is gone, isn't it?
Oh, he was never good enough. That's why he's been at Tottenham for 7-8 years without nailing down the left back spot.
But I mean, the rest of it, most of the team is going to pick itself. I would imagine Tanganga's going to get another run out on Thursday night. And I don't think he's done himself any harm at all over the last couple of weeks, really. I can see Alderweireld probably playing Thursday.
Yeah.
So probably Alderweireld and Sanchez, I would think, will be the central pair in there. I don't know what else. They've got to still play Højbjerg and stuff like that. There's nobody else to replace them, is there? Next year we'll have Skippy, will be a bit different.
Yeah.
David, what are you thinking? You think Jose will go strong Thursday night?
I do think he'll go strong Thursday night, and I tell you why is the fact that he took off Ndombele and Lamela, two of our most creative midfielders, early against City when he could have left them on. Now he took them off, and for me, the reason why is because look, we knew the game was done. He knew the game was done. There's no point in having them out there chasing around pointlessly. Take them off, rest them for Thursday, and that's why I think he's going to go strong. I could be wrong, but just looking at his substitutions, that's my opinion on it. On Thursday night, actually at the back, what I'd like to see is a partnership at the centre back of Toby and Tanganga. Bring Aurier back in at right back for me, because look, I'm not Aurier's biggest fan, but he has had a decent enough campaign this year. So like, centre back is our major worry right now. And for me, you put Alderweireld in there and then you put Tanganga in beside him, you might see a lot less mistakes, in my opinion. At left back, being honest, if Dennis Serkin was fit, I'd play him. This cannot keep going on with Ben Davies. Teams just like you seen Raheem Sterling push him to the floor. Look at the size difference between the two lads. That's just weak defending.
What about Hart? Would you play Hart?
I'd drop Lloris and I would give Hart a go at this stage, yeah. The thing is with Hart, what really annoys me here is that when we signed Joe Hart in the summer, we were told it was as number 3. He wouldn't really be near the team. All of a sudden now, we've been lied to. Gazaniga's out alone and we find Joe Hart as number 2.
Yeah.
Well, James writes here, do not underestimate Wolfsburg. They're a good side.
Yeah.
Now, we saw that, of course, earlier on in the season, Lokomotiv Plovdiv and, a couple of the other sides that we faced, we struggled, to actually get over the line. But, we eventually got there. We played the group stages. And, Jose Mourinho, though, seems to be very confident that we will go far and possibly win this trophy. Antony, are you feeling that positivity from Jose?
Yeah, I mean, listen, you got to trust Jose in what he believes. I think, as I said, the other Champions League sides that get knocked out, as we know, they go into the Europa League. They're no mugs. They're very strong sides, and I'll hate to come up against them, in the running. So, listen, hopefully we get a nice little easy run. If we beat Wolfsburger on Thursday. And then then hopefully we can get on a good run and then try and win it.
Yeah. Sorry, Chris. I see a couple of people in the comments saying about Roden starting Thursday. Roden actually can't play Thursday because he wasn't put into the Champions League squad when they had the chance to re-register.
Yeah.
So Roden is not in contention for Europa League.
Yeah.
So I bet it's Sanchez and Dyer in it with Davis. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So will they play? Will Jose play the same centre-back pairing against West Ham on Sunday? Because I must say, this Thursday's game, this Thursday's game should be a given. Tottenham should be winning that game very, very comfortably, right? Let's hope so anyway. Sunday's game, I must say, really does worry me. I can't find the comment now, but someone said about Antonio against Eric Dyer. That worries me. When you think of his pace against someone like Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, etc., it worries me. And West Ham, as we've said, Antony, many times, London derbies, these are the games that Tottenham Hotspur have to be up for. Every single player must give 110% in these matches.
All day long.
Are you worried about this game, West Ham?
Of course I am. Of course I am. I'm not sitting here confident. Are you mad? Are you mad? look what happened last time. Two mistakes. Davinson Sanchez on goal. Harry Winks trying to play out from the back. Gets caught out. Lanzini, bosh. Has Lanzini scored a goal since then? No, he hasn't. It's typical Spurs. It's Spurs. It's what we do. We give people chances. We make these people look like, Ronaldo number 9 at the time, Ronaldo number 7. So I think we have to go to West Ham all guns blazing. No low block, mid block. We have to go there all guns blazing because they're going to be well up for it. And especially at their ground. Look what happened last time. Jose's first game, we was 3-0 up. We nearly drew that again, 3-all. So they're no mugs. They're no mugs. And it pains me to say that because I hate them.
Anthony, Wayne writes here on screen, they should be up for every game, no matter who we're playing. This is the problem.
Listen, Wayne, I completely agree with you, mate. Your comment is absolutely spot on, but we've seen from the past couple of weeks, they've not been up for it. So that's what we do. That's what we do. Brighton ain't won a game all season. Dr. Tottenham.
Why is it like that, Anthony? Why? When is this going to change?
Yeah.
Because me personally, I thought it changed. Start this season when Jose come in, he got the players that he wanted. You think that all this Dr. Tottenham, this talk of Spursy, and all this crap that everyone talks about, about us, gifting results and goals, sometimes in games. I thought all of this had stopped. When is this going to stop?
I know, but no guts, no glory. Nice one, mate. When we change the mentality of this club, when we start bringing in proper winners that have been there, done it, defending wise, we need someone that's been there and done it. Go all out and get a Sergio Ramos, for example, for a year, 2 years. You think Sergio Ramos is going to come to Tottenham and see the crap next to him, and the despicable defending? I'm just giving you that as an example. Chelsea went out and got Thiago Silva, a World Cup winner. A La Liga winner, a PSG winner. He's won everything, and I think we need someone like that, either in defence or in the middle of the park. Because until that changes, we will always give these teams their first win, the manager's first win. The manager ain't won all year. He's going to beat Tottenham. This one ain't scored all season. They're going to score against Spurs. That's just, it's always been like that since I can remember being a little kid. So I can't see it changing anytime soon.
But you really need players for every position to create a hunger, and that's where the fear of losing your place comes into the equation.
Yeah, and that's what happened with Davis. If you look, all right, we said about Davis tonight. I don't rate him, bless him, at all. But Reguilon come in, fantastic player. He's already got more assists than Davis in 7 years.
Yeah.
You tell me that's disgusting. It's terrible.
See, this is the thing. I honestly think the poor confuse our motto from today is to do and just see the cheapest will do. Honestly, I think they can't read the motto.
The thing is, David, I think you might have a fair point, because when you think that Jose tried to bring in real leaders into the dressing room, I know, and experience and leaders. Reguilon had won a Europa League before, so he's come in. Gareth Bale, of course, has won everything in the land. He's come in, hasn't worked out for him. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, former captain at Southampton, he's come in. Been a real rock for us. And Joe Hart, of course, has won everything at Manchester City as well. Real leader in the changing room. You think, though, when Antony talks about leaders and players in that dressing room, you think that we have got a lot of leaders in there now, a lot of experience in there, a lot of past winners. So why is it not gelling at the moment? Why is it not all coming together?
Look, on Joe Hart, first of all, is he a leader? Look, after his City days, his career is completely spiraled. You know what I mean? Burnley even let him go. We're talking about Burnley. They're up and down like a yo-yo. Do you know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, Joe Hart, we can say he's won things, but is he a real leader when he can't even keep on to a #1 spot at Burnley or even at Torino over in Italy? For me, it's the type of personality we're bringing in. For me,
yeah, but you did want to buy.
The only reason why we brought Joe Hart in wasn't because he's a leader; it's because he was English and the quota needed to be met. That's why we brought in Joe Hart. On Reguilon, I fully agree with it, and it's proven, it's worked out. When he hasn't been injured, he's played. Like Antony said, he's more assists in 12 games than what Ben Davies does in 7 years. Do you know what I mean? Like this season. So Reguilon has only lost once when he's been in the side. We've scored 22 goals when he's been in the side. We've only conceded 11. We've drawn 2. 1-6, and he's played 12. With Ben Davies, we've lost 6. We've only scored 18. We've conceded 14. We've drew 5. We've only won 5, and he's played 1 more game than Reguilon on 13. And as well, another stat for you: at least 85% of our goals conceded this year have been from set pieces and individual mistakes. There's only 4 that haven't.
Exactly, mate.
Anthony, let's come to you. Now, Mark writes, we shop at Poundland. So when are we going to start shopping at Harrods?
When the board starts backing the manager. When the board
will that
realise. Pardon?
When will that be?
Could be this year, could be in 2-3 years' time. I don't know. But the board have to take a long, hard look at themselves, because if we don't get near that Europa League spot or even a Champions League spot, it's looking very bleak. A lot of fans are going to be on their backs, mate. And they're lucky that there's no fans in at the stadium at the moment.
Yeah.
Because it would be toxic,
when you talk about investment, though, you know, what are we talking? What sort of figures are we talking here?
I don't know. Throwing numbers. Let's say 150 mil. I don't know. You know.
What can you buy for that?
You can buy a fantastic central defender. You can buy a good midfielder, a box-to-box, an attacking midfielder. We haven't even got someone on set pieces, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's just not good enough. You know, we can't keep having, you know, superhero Harry Kane all the time, relying on him. Bless him, he's not good on free kicks. All right, he hit the post yesterday, but that's one in 15,000. You know, so we need someone on them free kicks, like a James Ward-Prowse. I'm not saying he's the answer, but someone like that who knows the Premier League to come in and hit the ground running. And we need another striker. We need a striker. We need a second striker. We need a second striker because the amount of games that hopefully we'll play next season, being in Europe, if it works out, we need a good squad. That I can name 10 players that should be shipped out in the summer.
Go on,
you know, so.
And you know what? We're an hour and 16 in, and I can't believe you've not mentioned Harry Winks on this video yet. Here we go.
Go on, Chris.
It's coming.
Davis, Sanchez, Sissoko, Winks, Mora, Bergwijn. What's that, 7 or 8? Is that 7 or 8?
I think it's 8. And then don't forget Aurier and Doherty. I'd sell the 2 of them as well.
Doherty and maybe Aurier. Yeah, I know this gentleman here, what's his name? Charles. We've got Dane Scarlett. Yeah, I know. And he looks a great prospect, but we need to improve. He's 16. I don't want to put my eggs in one basket with him yet. Let's get another striker to compete with Kane, like a Danny Ings, who knows the Premier League and knows where the goal is. And Dane Scarlett can be playing in League Cup games, a couple of Europa League games. Give him a taste. That's all we need to do now. Don't throw him in the deep end, because once he starts doing that, his confidence might go down. You know, because Richard Cracknell told me a fantastic story about Chris Waddle. Chris Waddle was playing for a non-league Newcastle side, signed by Newcastle. He thought he was, you know, bee's knees being at Newcastle. Ray Wilkins, bosh, straight away, first tackle, and went, "Welcome to the league, mate." And that, he goes, Chris Waddle said, that threw him. That threw him for years. He can never go to back. He can never go to sleep without thinking of Ray Wilkins nutmegging him, going nuts, and then giving him a dig as he was going past. I'm not saying, you know, football's moved on from then, I get it, but to throw in Dane Scarlett's name I think it's a little bit too early. I think he needs.
For me, we've actually missed the point of throwing in the likes of Dane Scarlett, Dennis Sorkin, Harvey White, who is a free kick specialist as well. For me, we've missed the chance of throwing them in. Throw them in was the Europa League group stages. We could have flooded some of them when Winks and Davies weren't good enough.
Yeah, is he a free kick taker? I didn't know Harvey White.
No, Harvey White. Yeah, he's a set piece specialist. Harvey White is. I can assure you of that. I have watched some underage games and that, and he is a set piece specialist.
Okay.
But like the thing is, we missed our chance to blood these players in the Europa League group stages. We could have blooded them in if the likes of the backup brigade, when they were playing the group stages, done their jobs and killed the game off early like they were supposed to. These guys would have been given a shot.
Yeah.
Anthony Simon on screen writes Lamella. I'm not sure whether you mentioned him.
Oh, Lamella, yeah. I mean, 8 years at the club, 16 goals, not good enough, unfortunately. He just, I don't know. He just frustrates me. He's so 50-50 with a lot of fans at the moment. He's played a couple of good games, don't get me wrong, but is he the answer? I don't think so. I think he needs to be moved on. That's my personal opinion.
Ian, let's come to you now. Realistically, you know, how many players could Tottenham sell or release in the summer and bring in? Because Antony talked about 10 players easily there. I think a lot of Tottenham Hotspur fans will agree with what Antony has just said, you know, about the amount of players that need to leave the club. You know, they let Pochettino down. You know, they don't seem to be doing the job now under Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
You know, what is the answer here? Because will Tottenham let this amount of players go? Because let's take Davinson Sanchez, for example. Spurs paid £42 million. We know that Daniel Levy and the board do not ever want to lose any money on any of these players. Moussa Sissoko, £30 million. Will we let him leave for less? I doubt it. You know, so what is the answer?
Well, he'll circulate and he'll probably put a list up of 15 players, but he'll probably only sell 3 of them. But you actually know damn well that 10 of them need to go. That's the reason why the club's not moving on, isn't it? You really need. I actually feel that you actually need a younger squad in there, and I think you actually need a hungry squad in there. And all these players are all too comfortable. You know, they're just there and just picking up their wage packet every week.
Yeah.
So I would actually I would agree with Antony. Not far off of that 10. I like Lamela, but I don't think we'll get any money for him unless we can sell him to Italy. It's the only way we'll get any money for him, isn't it?
Yeah. Listen, Lamela, as I said, divides opinion. You know, I've had a lot of Spurs fans say to me, he runs around a lot. Well, I can run around a lot for 90 grand a week, you know. You know, he squared up to Jack Wilshere. You know, Jack Wilshere.
I do that for free.
Cups. You know, what's that?
I do that for free. I do that for free, lads.
So
I think we all would.
You know, Lamela runs around a lot and squares up to Jack Wilshere. That's all I've been told before. He's Spurs through and through.
But you see, you didn't mention Lloris there, did you? Well, I would get rid of him straight away.
Yeah, Lloris. Yeah, again, so that's 11 players straight away. That's a whole first team.
Yeah, so that's 11 players that have actually gone. But it makes you wonder whether our squad's too big then.
Is it easier just to ask you who you would keep?
Højbjerg,
it's easier, you have less players to go through.
And then
you know, I would even consider. I think I would even think getting, if I could get investment from Harry, I would even consider selling Harry. I'd rather sell him on our terms than his.
Listen, it's a big call, but it has to be discussed. It's a great shout, because this is what I mean. We're all we're worried. I'm sitting here worried. I'm sitting here thinking, if we don't win that League Cup, he's gone. If we win the League Cup, he might say, thank you very much, Spurs, I love you, but I'm gone. So you have to show ambition with Kane. There's no harm in talking about it, you know. And I think
the way I look at the Kane situation is that it's easier to build around Kane and build with him than it is to sell on and rebuild a whole squad and still have to find his replacement. If you can't even find someone to come in as backup, you know what I mean? Who are you going to get to come in as your number one?
Nobody wants to come in as a backup to him, which means if you actually got Harry Kane and you make money for him, then you can afford to buy a quality player and make some money back to part in other positions as well.
I don't believe in this whole thing that no one wants to come up and back up to Harry Kane. Like Callum Wilson, he went down with Bournemouth. Now you're telling me he wouldn't have grabbed the chance to come to Tottenham? He would have grabbed that with 2 hands. 100%.
He'd have 2 cruciate ligament injuries. He'd never have got insurance on it coming to London, would he?
But the thing is, he scores goals when he plays. Like, you know there's going to be a period when Harry Kane's out injured. So why wouldn't you have someone like Callum Wilson there to come in and bang in the goals? He's a goal scorer.
Danny Ings, and Danny Ings was another one. He only went to Southampton because they could afford to buy him because of his cruciate. Otherwise, he wouldn't have gone there. Yeah,
100%. Like, you're telling me, like, players like that wouldn't want to come to Tottenham and play European football.
Yeah.
No, look. But the thing is that Tottenham, all we ever hear over the transfer windows is excuses. Every window there's a new excuse. You know, we can't get someone in for Harry Kane because they don't want to come in and be backup. A load of bull. You know, we can't sign anyone because of the English quota. But we have to remember, they went out and loaned out Sessegnon in the same window. Ollie Skip in the same window. So it was our own doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and at the same time, you could have brought in a foreigner and replaced the foreigner in the squad. All we do is excuses. Deadline day after the shit show the day before. What did we do? We sat here talking about Josie in, Josie out, instead of sitting here questioning. Okay, well, you can see the defensive problems. Are we in the market for a defender? Do you know what I mean? One thing we are at is we're definitely a top class team at making excuses when it comes to the transfer window. And I've just come to the point where I'm fed up. Honestly, I'm fed up with all the excuses. I can pick holes in all the excuses people have given me over the years of the transfer window. I can pick holes in every single one of them. At the end of the day, the board just need to put their hands in their own pocket and invest, because they invest now. Okay, they're taking a hit now. but it's going to be brought back when we have players good enough to get us Champions League qualification. They can take the money back out of the Champions League money. It's a short-term loss for a long-term gain. This whole thing about selling players, at the end of the day, if you've done bad recruitment, if the players come in, he hasn't been good enough and it hasn't worked, and you've paid over the price, that's your problem. You have to take the hit. I admire them not wanting to take the hit and try and recoup as much as they can. I admire that.
Yeah.
But this is why we're in the situation we're in right now.
Completely.
Because we wouldn't take the hit on some of these players when they weren't good enough. Bad recruitment, you take the hit. It's as simple as that. It's their own doing.
Yeah, you're right.
Antony, let's come to you. You're talking about releasing 10 players at Tottenham in the summer. Now, Ram writes, he's named a few players here who he'd like to see
I love Ivan Toney. I think he's a good player. Cantwell, I've rated all along. He's a very, very good player. He's tricky, can hold the ball, releases the ball, can hit a shot. I rate Cantwell, and I've always rated Will Prowse. I think Will Prowse, dead ball specialist, is unbelievable, and he's proven.
He's also written, "I'd take £100 million for Harry Winks."
No. He's winding me up, isn't he? 100 mil for Winks. He's having a laugh. No. Listen, if we got Harry Winks for 100 million, I would go and give Davey the biggest cuddle ever, mate.
Even when it was talked about City's potentially spending 40 million on Harry Winks, I was jumping at the chance. It got me so excited. You know what I mean? I would have driven down to City myself.
Antony, serious question. If we sold Harry Winks, how much would we get for him?
30 pounds, 30 mil. I don't know. I'm just throwing figures. I don't know. 30 mil, 40 mil. I don't know. No way.
Is this not though?
What's that?
In all seriousness, you're talking about the amount of players who you'd like to see head out the door. This is a huge rebuild, isn't it? It is huge, absolutely huge.
If 10 players, you've asked me a question, I've answered it. I've said 10 players. If 5 of them go, it's a good rebuild. If 10 of them go, it's painful. So it depends how they look at it, how they look at and how they invest. Because you can't keep getting these players again and giving them long terms and then not delivering. I want to see some fresh blood in there now. I'm fed up of seeing the same old faces in the same old places.
Well, we've Session coming back in the summer, so there's your backup for Reguilon straight away. So that puts Ben Davies on the transfer list. You sell Ben Davies, you go and buy a centre back. You bring in a world class centre back. You can either sell, in my opinion, Sanchez or Dyer. You sell one of them on, then you can invest in your right back. There's your whole back line. You know what I mean? Basically, from selling your own players, in my opinion. Yeah. There's your whole back line sorted out. And then if you want to go that bit extra, you put your hand in your pocket, you buy a good backup goalkeeper or the goalkeeper you've identified to be Hugo's replacement. Let them battle out for number one, and then you go and buy a midfielder.
Do you know what I love, lads?
There's a good window right there.
Do you know what I envy? And I take my hat off to them as well. Is Leicester City. Their recruitment is unbelievable. You can't fault them. You cannot fault them. It pains me to say it. I don't mind watching Leicester City because they're a good footballing side. They've got some good players in every position. And it hurts me, man. It hurts me. They built on. We've got some nice little players. James Justin, Fofana,
Castagna.
They've got Castagna. Madison, obviously, Buddy's coming to the end, but
Barnes as well. Barnes is there. He's a good player.
Barnes is a hell of a player, isn't he?
Wilfred Ndidi.
I'd have Harvey Barnes over Lucas Moura any day of the week. Yeah. Any day of the week. But I don't know why they get these good players. I just. If Jose goes,
their hand in the pockets when a player becomes available.
Exactly.
Antony, give me a score prediction for the Wolfsburg game this Thursday and the West Ham game on Sunday.
Wolfsburg. I mean, I don't know much about them. So, have you got a computer in front of you, lads?
No.
Do you want to see? All right. Well, Wolfsburg. Who hasn't scored for Wolfsburg this season will score against Spurs.
I can actually help you out here. The last time I looked at the Austrian league, Wolfsburg were actually like 5 places behind last, who we played in the Europa League group stage. So that might give you an indication.
All right, so they're like a Aston Villa type. Is that where we're at?
They're not that good. They're not that good. No.
No, I'm not saying they're like Aston Villa, but they're in that. Anyway,
I'd say you could probably go down to like League One level. I'd say.
Anthony, you say that about Aston Villa. They're ahead of us.
No, I know. I'm just saying. He said about where they are in the league. I'm trying to be positive here. Right.
Think Ipswich or Portsmouth. That's what I'd be thinking when I think
Okay. So we'll go and beat them 2-0.
And what about the West Ham game?
Well, it just depends who turns up. Who wants it more? Obviously, I want us to win. I'm going to go 3-2 Spurs.
Love it. Ian, what about you?
Is Reguilon playing on this week, you think?
Hopeful.
So.
Hopeful, yes.
Right. So I'd save him for Sunday then, definitely. I would actually put us down for 2-0 win on Thursday. Probably the same as 3-2 on Sunday for a win.
Okay, David?
I'm gonna go 3-0 Thursday night. I think we should absolutely wipe the floor with them. We're Tottenham Hotspur. We have to remember this. No matter how bad we're playing in the Premier League, we should be beating these. And on Sunday, I'm going to predict us to turn hammers into spanners. I predict us to burst their bubble and send them further back down the league where they actually belong. I'm going to go 3-1 Tottenham. I think this is the start of a turning point. I think you're going to see us go on a nice little run. And I can't wait to get my hand on that Crystal Palace mascot and give them a stone cold stunner. We're definitely going to beat them too.
Mate, do you think should we predict the mistake against West Ham on Sunday and put a fiver in, and whoever wins gives it to charity? They're going to get
Anthony, a question for you. Can you give us a song?
Tottenham, I want Tottenham. We're not going to do it like we haven't done in years. Tottenham.
You've made Simon's Valentine's now, you have.
Bless you, Simon. I like that. We should have a little flutter every time we're on. Who's going to make a mistake this week?
Who's your money on then?
We'll end up buying the club. What's that?
Who's your money on for the mistake?
I think if it's Dyer playing on Sunday, I think he'll turn, right? He'll barge into Antonio running on a ball for Gerard Bowen, and Antonio will fall. They'll get a penalty.
See, Anthony, we were going to end it on a real positive of you singing. And now we're ending on that.
It's all jokes. It's all fun and games.
Oh, Anthony, Ian, David, thank you very much for joining me. It's been brilliant talking to you all. We can talk all night long, but we're going to end it there. Thank you very much to everyone who commented today. Really appreciate all of your comments. Let's hope that Tottenham can get 2 wins this week against Wolfsburg on Thursday and, of course, West Ham on Sunday afternoon. Anyway, thanks for watching, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.